Mm. Oh, okay.
Okay. So we are three speakers. This one. Okay. I think that we are going to start now. Perhaps more people that will attend this session. So thank you for being present in this session. So I am Bruno Rakedjian. I am a French seconded national expert working in the European Commission, specifically in the DG environment. So I am a water expert, and I am in charge of implementation of the European Wastewater Treatment Directive. So I have been the manager of the project that will be presented during this session. So this is a specific follow-up of the presentation given by Benoît Fribourg-Blanc in the parallel session that was previously given. So this session will be mainly focused on the concrete developments in improving the reporting process and dissemination of information under the European Wastewater Treatment Directive. So we are going first to to enter into the functionalities of the tool we have developed together with the Office International de l'Eau. So it was shortly presented during the plenary session. So this is important for you if you want to better understand what is inside to be present in this session. So this presentation will be given by Benoît Fribourg-Blanc, so from the International Office for Water, Office International de l'Eau. This is a French institution. So he has with his team developed the web tool related to European Wastewater Treatment Directive. Then we will have a presentation given by Corina Boscornea, a water expert from the Romanian water. She is in charge of the implementation of several water directives in Romania, and for her this year, this is a busy year because she had to implement three reporting process concerning water framework directive, European Wastewater Treatment Directive, and also nitrate directive. So she has accepted to be involved in this process. And she will present the point of view of the user concerning this development. And then I am going to close the presentation giving possible future evolution of this system as regards the different issues related to the databases, but also to the tools that we have to better disseminate the information. So I wish good session, and I give directly the floor to Benoît.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. So I'm going to present you some elements with some slides about the tool, and then we will go to the tool itself to show you some functionalities. So the core elements, the Urban Wastewater Treatment Directive. So the directive requires three types of reporting. We have three articles in the directive which ask for reporting from member states to the EU level. We have the Article 15, which is detailed compliance assessment about 4 different components: the agglomeration, the treatment plant, the discharge point, and the receiving area. Those 4 components are geographical objects, so for sure, they are covered by the Inspired Directive, even if the Urban Wastewater Treatment Directive came into place first, and so this has to be adapted. We have the Article 16, which is a summary national situation report. Up to now, this national report was a kind of PDF or Word document in national language. With different aspects of the implementation at the national level, so summary assessment, more or less. This year it was accepted that the CIF platform can replace this national report. So the tool that we will see afterwards can replace this national report, and it can be translated in the national language, but also is by default provided in English. Then we have the Article 17, which is the implementation program, meaning what's the future of the implementation of the directive, what are the investment plan in the coming years, and etc. So it's, of course, in a descending order, because once you have the national report, you can then have also the implementation report. Under this directive, there's a reporting that is made every 2 years since 1998, especially on the Article 15, to a lower extent for Articles 16 and 17. And this reporting is implemented with a progressive development of a data model of all the necessary tools for having this reporting. So we had a data collection process which was progressively implemented, and when we started this CIF project was already very well defined and structured. One of the, although complex reporting, it was already quite well defined. So it was, for that purpose, for that reason, it was identified, this reporting as a test case for implementation of the SIF concept, because the SIF concept is not only addressing wastewater data, but as such, but is also addressing all kinds of reporting. So the reporting itself, we have a complete EU-based data collection chain with a common EU data model, with reporting guidelines, not fully Inspire compliant, but easily adjustable. We made, during the process of this SIF project, which started in 2013, and it's still ongoing, we made some test cases to identify what are needed to comply with Inspire. And the result was that there are some small adjustments needed for the data model, some definitions to be updated or adjusted and agreed by the thematic experts. But overall, it's not a very complex exercise to make that. We made a first proposal that still needs to be discussed with member states, but it's overall manageable. Of course, there are reporting tools managed by the EA to check the reporting format and the quality of the data. And there's a web tool for that, where member states can upload their data and then produce the XML that is then considered the official report. And we have, of course, this public reporting platform at the EA level where all the officially reported datasets can be found. So this data collection is a set of steps described that way at the national level. So here, the data are gathered in the online DEM tool, which is then exporting an XML file, which is then transferred to the EA level on the CDR. And this is the file, as it's the official file reported by the country. It's the file we use also in the SIF tool. So what is the SIF, the Urban Wastewater Treatment Directive SIF? It's a tool to use a national validated dataset, but it's not a collection tool. It's not a reporting tool. It's not fully compliant tool because some data schemas are absent. Not all web services are fully implemented, but not always necessary. The transformation I mentioned in the plenary, it's only used by the 28 member states and at the national level, so probably there's no need to have a real web service for that. And metadata are not available for all that sets. And finally, and it's still in the process, and maybe you have some news about that, but for the moment it's using WFS as simple feature format, which is a pragmatic approach, because at the time we started to develop that, there was no tool able to consume complex feature, which is necessary and required by under Inspire. The tool itself is provided for free as support for MS. It's not mandatory. The datasets, once implemented on the platform, are available for everyone, so there's no restriction or limitation to access to the datasets. It's, in fact, the datasets that are reported by the member state and available on CDR, so we do nothing but consume those datasets and make them also available. And of course, it will or may evolve in the future with contribution from users. It can be used for many different purposes, so I'm in the presentation on the plenary, so I will not go too much in detail, but at least there are two main uses. On the one hand is to prepare the reporting, because you can upload your prepared dataset on the platform to check everything is working properly and the compliance calculation gives the results you were expecting. And then only report the assets once you have done that. So you can use that. There's an administration part where you can do that. And of course can be used for dissemination of information about the Urban Wastewater Treatment Directive. So just a small illustration where the SIF lies. So it's here in the overall picture with an administration part dedicated to the EA, the CDR system where you can find the dataset, the WISE viewer, that is the public part visible on the EA website. And here in the CIF, you have also two aspects, on the one hand the administration part and on the other hand the public part. Some hints about the near future. So we expect that some candidate countries will implement on the server. We already have 7 member states that were included in the pilot phase. 2 of them have implemented on their own server, so they have now a real CIF platform on their server. We expect additional candidates will come. The platform will be used this year for assessment of the latest reporting. That means we will implement 1 platform per member state on our server, not accessible to everyone for the moment, but on our server. And we are going to develop a new platform linked to those national platforms to consume part of the information produced by the national platform, to allow to produce a summary EU assessment out of that. And the interlinkage between the national and EU platforms will be made via web service, so that each time there's a change in the dataset, because the datasets are not fully stable, each time there's a change in the datasets, then it's immediately reflected on the EU platform. In the maybe more long-term perspective, the Inspire validity schemas will be made available and possibly implemented in the CIF. And we also expect to extend the platform to other environmental domains, drinking water, bathing water, for instance. Well, this I won't go too much in detail. I already presented that in the plenary. So what was done in national generic open source wastewater website with different functionalities. I'll come back to that in a moment. And as I said in the plenary, discover metadata part, view maps, graphs, download, invoke. What I did not present in the plenary is that the platform also provides a fiche for each geographical object. And there are 4 geographical objects, so agglomeration, treatment plant, discharge point, receiving area. And for each, there's an information fiche with map, data, scheme, graph, links. So map, here for location of the object, description of the information with some exploitation, transformation of the information, another scheme to show what's the situation, and it's also possible to link to the individual object and the individual fiche. So that means that a local administration that wants to have an individual fiche on its own website can simply link by using the normed rules, and then have the link from his website to the EU fiche, or national fiche, in fact. The platform also provides information that are not directly related to Inspire, which are the information on the Article 17 of the directive, where we can find the deadlines for implementation, the costs, and the agglomeration that are relevant for that. So here it's an example with the island, but it's the case for all member states where we have Article 17 information. So the transformation service, as I said, there are calculation and visualization of compliance. This calculation and visualization of compliance is made via 11 algorithms implemented on the platform, which calculate the compliance and provide some visualization of that. You find maps for the compliance, graphs, summary tables, and you also find a so-called register, which is a set of Excel sheets that are generated for making the national chapter of the European Compliance Assessment Report. And finally, the there are some additional transformation service focused on end-user needs that are provided by the platform. So it generates automatically aggregated statistics at a national level, here as we can see. So here it's the apportionment between no treatment, secondary and tertiary, or primary if there are some. Here it's the generated load by agglomeration, where we see that by population equivalent, so it is an apportionment, and by number of agglomerations, a different apportionment because there are many small treatment plants. And there are also some transformation services that are, in fact, calculation made from the data sets provided. Sorry. And here we have an example with incoming and discharge load which are provided by the country. And from there we calculate some kind of concentration. It's of course not a real concentration that is found, but it provides some further hints on the, for experts' assessment. Now I'm going to make a quick tour on the platforms with two cases. So on the one hand, the use for as dissemination tool and daily help to all kinds of users, and then a second presentation on the tool as an help to reporting exercise. Sorry, I have to. So when you arrive on the platform, you have a map of the country. Sorry, it does not seem so easy to explore that way. So by default, you have the agglomeration and location on the map, and you have some summary information at the bottom of the page, stating for the latest reported exercise how much agglomeration you have, and some other summary information. The maps are, there are several maps on the platform, and they all provide the same set of background information. So you can add the treatment plant, the discharge point. So I will show you that a bit later. And you have some reference layers that come from external web services. So the river basin and the subunits. The NUTS, the administrative boundaries provided by Eurostat. The monitoring information provided by the EA. Each time, as they are all web services, they all provide the latest information available, which allows to have the platform always updated with the latest information, including for basin water or for Natura 2000. And this can be zoomed in, zoom out, panned, etc. Of course, you can search for a specific location, and then it automatically zooms to the location, where you can, of course, add the different layers you want, including, for instance, the treatment plant or the discharge point. So here you see the agglomeration, the treatment plant, and the discharge point for the case of Dublin. Then on the View Discover menu, you have access to the four main objects, the agglomeration, the treatment plant, the discharge point, sensitive area. And for each, you have sub-menus. For instance, for agglomeration, you have the compliance map and the connection map. And here it's the compliance map. And here you have possibility to sort, and for instance, if you want only to have those agglomerations where there's a planning for future investment, you simply select the criteria and apply, and then you will only have the agglomeration that are concerned by this aspect. Then each time, and all the maps are working the same way, you have some summary information on the map about the situation for the agglomeration, and then you can go to the individual fish that I just showed before. And on the fish, you have again the map, the compliance timeline, which show you the data sets available. And then some summary information about the compliance, about the different types of wastewater pathways, be it on the collective system, be it on individual and appropriate system, or discharge without treatment. And then you have some further information about main characteristics of the agglomeration and link to the individual treatment plant, discharge point, and receiving area. I won't go too much in the download invoke aspects I already presented in the plenary. Just a small hint about the statistics, where you can have either the yearly national statistics, or summary graphs, and the information behind the graph about the figures used for the graph. So you have a full set of graphs about the compliance, about the installation in place, about the sludge, all the information that are provided in the reporting. And you can also choose all the years, which allows you to have historical evolution of that. In addition, you also have on the, this is another example because we have no data for Ireland, but when the information are provided, we also have a pressure map which allows to show what is discharged by each agglomeration in terms of the different polluting parameters, be it BOD, COD, nitrogen, phosphorus, so the parameters that are reported by under this directive. That's more or less all for the public part. Now I'm just going quickly to the administration part. So in this part you have access to additional information. Of course, to the management system that allows you to import and to import the dataset, or to delete a dataset if you've made a mistake and then you want to update your dataset for the year. And you have access to calculation tools, including the calculation of compliance and the calculation of a register. This full set of Excel sheets that you can then access and look. And then you simply have to click here and it opens the Excel file. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Benoît. So I propose to have questions during 5 minutes, and then we will go forward and have the presentation from Romanian water from Corina. So do you have specific questions as regards this presentation? There will be a microphone.
Which INSPI schemes are concerned by this directive?
Sorry?
Which INSPI schemes are concerned in this directive?
It's it's the Annex 3 mainly. I invite you to come back to my presentation in the plenary because I don't remember by heart.
It's 3.6, 3.6, and we have the sensitive areas, that is India, that are in the Annex 1. And we have the objects, so the agglomeration and the treatment plants, the facilities to treat wastewater. So do you have other questions? Of course, these websites are available, so the links are working, and you can go and test what is inside and see what is inside.
So, hello, Sylvain Gollet from BRGM France. Quick question. These are demo sites located on OEO's server. Is it planned so that the sites and associated services be handed back to the respective countries to be used as their national nodes, like what's the initial CIF ID?
Well, in the prototype exercise, we have implemented those sites on our server to save us from and preventing us from having timeout and other IT issues. But during this prototyping exercise, we also had Romania for sure, but also a bit Cyprus, I think. No, Malta. I don't remember.
There was another country.
One of those two small countries which were up to now reporting only in Excel files and not able to develop themselves such a platform, have decided to implement the platform on their premises. And so once it's implemented on the premises, the idea was to shut down the version on our premises. We did not have up to now the green light from them to shut down our own version, but this is the idea behind that.
Then the sub-question comes, will the data transfer according to Inspire Web Services and all be used as the only reporting basis from those sites in the countries up to the EU level?
Up to now, and as I said in my presentation, the tool is not currently a reporting tool. It's only using officially reported data set to present that to the public audience. And for the moment, it's not implemented as a reporting tool. In principle, the way it works does not prevent future evolution to make it a reporting tool, because it's only a question of administration of the system to allow each individual authority to access its own individual fishes, be it at the regional or the local level. It was planned to be tested last year. Finally, we had so many different things to do that we did not test that, but it can be planned in the future whenever a need occurs.
So I propose to stop here and to give immediately the floor to Corina to present the point of view of a user, because she was involved in this project, and I think that she has different things to say.
Hello, everybody. My name is Corina Boscornea. I'm coming from Romania. I am representing the National Administration Romanian Waters, Apele Române, which is the national water authority, the only one water authority in Romania. So I'm going to start to present you some aspects regarding the implementation status of Inspire Directive in Romania. After that, I will present some thoughts, some opinion about the Romanian experience to test the structured implementation and information system for urban wastewater treatment directive, and finally to think for the future what we will do with this web tool and one can use for the future in our water politics. First of all, we implemented, we transposed the Inspire Directive in our national legislation, but we have some problems. So in 2013, Commission opening the pilot case for Romania. Finally, we succeed to close this pilot case by completing the national legislation with small specification about mentioning the groups of experts for coordination, metadata, and special data, and facilitate network service and common data. After that, we prepared also and improved the legislation about the sharing of responsibility of the actors involved in these implementation steps. And after that, we finally this year approved the National Action Plan for implementation of Inspire Directive, having in view the planned deadline 2020. So in Romania, National Agency for Cadastres and Land Registration is the focal point for Inspire Directive, and also it's the legally mandated organization of Romania to the European Commission. So also another institution are involved. Ministry of Environment is responsible for the environmental aspects. Also, I will mention the Ministry of Regional Development and Public Administration, which is in charge with managing the data set concerning the water utilities for drinking and collecting and treatment. That is corresponding to TEM 3.6 on government utility and government services. The first solution adopted in Romania was to create a national infrastructure for spatial information. This was a result of the European project, which was developed to set up the technical and the legally in the framework for function of this national infrastructure for spatial data. After that, for sharing and distribution of data set, we created the National Geo Portal for disseminating of data and also for downloading the data. This website is available also in the English language. Probably you know Romania designated a third part of his territory as natural protected area. In this respect, we're starting to concentrate our efforts to make Inspire compliant the view and download service for protected areas. We succeed to do that, and to full, let's say, feed the TEM 1.9 protected area. As regarding water management aspects, National Administration Romanian Water and his subordinated research institute, National Institute for Hydrology and Water Management, are in charge for implementation of TEM 1.8 hydrology, 2.12 natural risk zone, and also assure the data set for hydrotechnical works, dams, reservoirs, pumping stations, so on. So since 2000, my institution created own informatics system for water data. What is mean information related to the water is there, or at the national level. So this water information management system, we intend to be compliant, Inspire compliant. So in this respect, we promote for next year a big project in collaboration with S3 from USA to develop, to harmonize the data set and create the web services. So some technical remarks from my colleagues from IT is that the project is to implement a central system enterprise GIS, meaning ArcGIS for Inspire, and related services in order to comply with requirements of Inspire Directive regarding the publication of the metadata and WebGIS services. According to the last report of the Commission regarding the implementation of Inspire Directive of the member states, effectiveness had increased in Romania, depending on the effort, especially the investment, but the requirements in Thailand of the directive pose problems for identify of the total data set. As you see, in Romania, less than 50% of special data set meet requirements, and no availability of special data in common data model. So we plan to do that until 2020. As regards the quantitative evaluation of the costs and benefits, we are to begin. For instance, we have conducted only 2 projects, as said before, one for the protected area and one for creation of INIS, National Infrastructure for Spatial Dataset. And we intend with the next future to have a project of around 2 million euro, supported by my institution in the own budget. A small example how we can do the harmonization of data existing in the WIMS, Water Information Management System of my institution, and how can you do this with complying with these SPI network models. Here we have a model of water flow transfer between 2 rivers. A big river in the down, it's Mureș, and then the up, it's a small river here. On the left, the existing data is, let's say, a polygon represented, but to be compliant with INSPIRE, it's necessary to represent as point. This means intake point, pumping station point, and discharge point. Also, on the big river, it will represent also the node for flow regulation and another other technical works. So, in conclusion, as I showed in the before slides, even Romania made some progress, there are still necessary to improve and accelerate the implementation on National Action Plan and also the INSPIRE strategy. Main priority is to increase the effectiveness of the services, web services, that is meaning special download services, and transformation services and data sharing. For instance, the public access is still limited. We haven't an open data policy in our law, but depending on each institution and depending on the character of data, we can open to the public the data. For example, for water management, we have free access to the flood risk map. It's an obligation, of course, but it's a complex let's say, website where we inform the public, because in Romania flood it's an usual event. So, and for example, for a protected area, it's a fully free for public to download the data sets. The perspective is that Romania must sustain an important financial and resource efforts and time-consuming, of course, for the restructuration and harmonization of spatial data and the development of services. For this reason, not all institutions, authorities are really prepared to do that and to making their data comply with the INSPIRE directive. It is possible that this deadline 2020 to be too optimistic for us. Because we talk about urban wastewater, excuse me, confused with water framework directive, okay? But it's a real connection between these 2 directives. So urban wastewater treatment directive in Romania, it's, let's say, a priority. Romania is a country that has still need to invest billions of euros in urban wastewater policy to achieve the requirements of the directive. So we evaluated the total necessary investment at 13 billion euro for new and renewal of collecting system treatment plants for agglomeration with more than 2,000 population equivalent. We updated this value after we prepared the National Management Plan and the River Basin Management Plans. And we concluded that still is necessary 9 billion euro for the second cycle of Water Framework Directive, because we have to take into account also to put there more stringent limit or to apply agglomeration with less than 2,000 population equivalent to construct a centralized system. So it's the value is increased. In the table, you can see the evolution of investment in the past period, 2010-2014, the current yearly investment for the period 2015-2016, and what we expected for the last period. As you see, if the deadline for Romania is 2018, we expected to comply 2023. It's a realistic term. It's because it's depending on how much we can invest, of course, for the support of European Commission, for the cohesion funds, but also of our national and local budget. The past and current yearly, you can see we have the huge investment for each year, around €1 billion. It's period we have benefited from the cohesion fund for the program and financing program 2007-2013. For Romania was extended until 2016. But for the future, the value is decreasing because in that period, 2017-2023, this period will take care about renewal of the infrastructure. Another characteristic for Romania is that, as you saw, around 80% of investment are dedicated to the collective system. Why? Because our policy is to apply the principle of clustering. That is, where it is possible, the geographical condition, technical condition, and economical analysis, cost-benefit analysis permit, we can concentrate the infrastructure, urban wastewater infrastructure for collecting and agglomeration to one treatment plant. So more collective system concentrated to the one treatment plant. So invest less money for treatment, but a lot of money to build the network to connect to this treatment plant. Some words about the national situation, collecting and dissemination of data. So in Romania, both Ministry of Environment, Water and Forest and the National Administration Romanian Waters are the competent authority for the European and national reporting process. Also, this institution coordinates the collecting process of data and also take care to disseminate to the public this information. The urban wastewater information in Romania is collected at the 3 different levels. So we started to the local levels, that is mean the raw data are delivered by the local authorities, by the municipalities, by the water service operators. In Romania, we created big operators, that is regional operators. So there are a very strong operator, and they have a good database and a good quality database. So after this collective information on the questionnaire, unfortunately it's a paper questionnaire because we did not succeed to create an, let's say, IT tool to easier collect and to let's say, monitor and survey all the process. The information are sent to the river basin level. Romania has 11 river basins, and corresponding for that, we have 11 water basin administration. At this level, our colleagues receive this data from the local authorities, and they check from the technical point of view and validate this data. After that, they send to the national level. It is meaning National Administration Romanian Waters in Bucharest. Here it's put together all information from 11 basin, so this is very, very difficult to imagine 11 database with own, let's say, errors. And after that, compile and check the validity of data, and finally to report to the European Commission. Here, I put the flow of, informational flow of data collection on the 3 levels, as you see. But in this process also interfere another authorities, Ministry of Environment, of Regional Development and Public Administration, which deliver information about the past, existing and planned works, and also information about the available national budget for them. Also, we have the support of National Institute for Statistics, that it's cover all information about population, about administrative unit, about economic of jobs, and so on, what is required under reporting from Article 16 and 17. And also Research Institute, when we have problems in the impact problems, Research Institute can help us to clarify, especially for the low stringent limits. So, Romania has accepted to become involved in a European Commission project, as Benoît mentioned before, to test at national level an urban wastewater web tool to be compliant with this SPIRE. So, in this way, National Administration Romanian Waters has own national CIF for urban wastewater treatment directive, based on web tool and documentation for developers that had been elaborated by Office International de l'Eau. The data that we uploaded here correspond to the year 2009, 2012, and now it's updated for 2014. That is the reference year for this reporting for this year. The public has access to discover and view service about aspects of the directive in the friendly way. As Benoît showed you, we can have maps, we can have tablet charts, and we can interpret this information. There is possibility that general public and also the European and national water stakeholders have access to download, let's say, much technical information, metadata, and GIS information. So for the future, we'll maintain this website, and we'll intend to translate in the Romanian language the website, and also to feed it with the text part on legislation, on events, on forum, on specific question posed by operators, and also to make connection with another online databases that is available in Romania regarding the environmental aspects. As Benoît shows, we can add also Natura 2000 because it's inspired compliant for the Discover and View as services. So CIF has for us many benefits, but I will mention only few, one important. It's an excellent tool for better identification of compliance level with the requirement of directive. And also it's a good tool to identify the reason, the gaps for delays in implementation, because we can identify punctual the agglomeration and the necessary works that need to be a priority in order to be compliant and to have impact on the national level. On the other hand, the public can be more involved in that because each people is interested in his area to see how it's going with the works, how it is planned to be constructed, and to have their opinion. Also, we use in this tool and have a possibility to control the performance of the operators. It's important because they report the data, and the data are checking the 3 levels. So they assume the data, and finally we can see if they respect the limits of pollutant in effluent discharged according to the permit. So can be an instrument in the authorization process. On the other hand, it's a very useful to make possible to let's say, make adding another layers to the CEF for urban wastewater treatment regarding the environmental aspects. When we put together this information, we can have more information about what is the impact of treatment plant on the water body. And also we can do that having also information about APRTR. It's a European website dedicated for also for the urban wastewater treatment plant. What CEF brings for INSPIRE? So CEF support INSPIRE in the implementation process, being compliant with certain elements. For example, for Article 11, TEM 3.6, and also for Annex 1 regarding hydrography and administrative units, Annex 2 regarding land cover, Annex 3 regarding production and industrial facility and statistical units. So CEF transformation service generate automatically aggregated statistics that we can use in the reports, local, river basin, or national level. It's very important to have such kind of aggregated information by the transformation services. And also we can add new parameter, what we do to show and to have in mind. What INSPIRE brings for CEF? So INSPIRE stimulate the people to more interoperability. So you have the tool to discover and to view let's say environmental aspects. Also, the general public and the national and European water stakeholders have possibility to download specific data set in various formats, including XML format. I propose to Benoît, besides the adding layers for Natura 2000 and let's say bathing water, to add also to make connection with the Water Framework Directive, because it's also my field, to introduce also river basin, district and sub-basin, and in this way we can aggregate information at this level also, and to make connection also with the layers with the water bodies, because next year I think will be available in the INSPIRE compliant manner the reporting under Article 13 of Water Framework Directive. So we can have those layers. And also coastal waters, because, for example, in Romania, bathing waters are located in the coastal waters, so it's important. And finally, some Romanian opinion, vision on development of CEF for Urban Wastewater Treatment Directive to be compliant with INSPIRE and beyond, why not? So we support the idea that it is more efficient to have a common and harmonized INSPIRE data for all member states. That is mean the project have to continue and to be addressed those European platform where each national data set can be accessed. It will be avoided in this way the time consuming and money, and we save the money. Each country can focus more on quality of data set than to, let's say, to allocate efforts for sharing the information. Also, I think it's necessary to have a more approach and a more common vision on the environmental expert, IT expert, and GIS expert, because sometimes it's very difficult to talk the same language and to have result on this. The IT expert and GIS expert may make the data set compliant, INSPIRE compliant, but the environmental expert can add the value regarding the impact of the public and the quality of the data set. Also, I think it's a good idea to have a website we can share the experience and to promote an harmonized approach between member states. So, Benoît, also, European platform is a good idea. So Romania has this opinion. Beyond these INSPIRE requirements for the CIF, we think it's necessary to have also the national language version of the website. I think it's a rule of the European Commission to have that public have access in different own language to the information, and also let's say the outside experts have access in the English language to the, let's say, information to the another member state, and it's important if the member state is a neighbor member state. So to have cooperation and harmonization in some aspects, it's important. And to be short, I think can be useful to extend this approach of structured implementation integrating framework also to the small and medium enterprise, of course on the voluntary basis, because in this way this unit can be transparent and be more reliable, and the public has confidence in their services. So this is our point of view. Thank you for your attention, and don't hesitate to visit Romania, because there are beautiful natural protected areas. Okay.
Thank you, Corina, and thank you again for having accepted to be involved in this project and having decided to implement the tool at a national level, because this is a concrete example of how we can use the development. So if you have some questions to Corina, so it's time for you to raise them. No question?
So maybe you are interested how much will cost this effort to maintain the CIF for Urban Wastewater Treatment Directive, and to maintain and support. So we estimate to have 2 people which will be responsible for this side, and for the next period, depending on the complexity of extension of website, to extend also to 4 people, and we estimate the cost around 200,000 euro per year.
This is the cost only for the wastewater system, or for a system that could...
For maintaining the system. But the creation of system and development of the I2 website will take part of that product that Romanian Waters will develop next year, because this website will be integrated in our water information system, because we intend to use them in the authorization permit process, and for elaboration the reports for the ministry.
Yes.
Okay.
Torbjørn Nielsen, Agency for Data Supply and Efficiency in Denmark. You had a slide showing on the left side the water information system, the data structure, and on the right side there was the INSPIRE data. Are you maintaining both at the moment, or is it is the INSPIRE data derived from the water information system, or is it a transition from one data model to another one.
I don't know where it's possible to show the slides. This is the slides.
Yeah. Where's the mouse? I've used the mouse.
Yeah.
Do you see the mouse? Yeah, you have to click here, but I don't see the mouse. Ah, sorry.
If you start again all the
Yes, it's just I need to find the mouse. Sorry.
So on the left, it
Sorry.
was the existing representing in our system the let's say the water flow transfer between two rivers. On the right are what we intend to do to inspire compliance, to show in this way, point intake, point pumping station, discharge point, and also we have the node for flow regulation, and also another intake to another. So it was an example how supposed to harmonize with the inspired requirements. This can be applied also to the treatment plant. We have discharged point and so on.
Okay, if there is no more questions, so I will give a conclusion.
Okay.
So where is the mouse? Yeah, but sorry. So I am going to give some perspectives. I don't know if so it's possible to open my presentation because I am blocked with the last one. Thank you. Thank you. So what is a dream to the future? So the idea, so we have experienced a way to improve the reporting process, and this is, we are at a stage that we are using this tool for the reporting, but also it has been used by some member states. But so we can go further, and I'm going to give some proposals how to improve the reporting process to follow the improvement. First, I would like to come back shortly to the reporting organization that was already presented by Benoît, and this is a very, I think that this is a very powerful reporting process because at European level we have a common approach. We have a common approach concerning the data model. We have a common approach concerning reporting guidance, concerning policy definition guidance, concerning qualification process, and thanks to the help of EA, because EA is in charge of many of this qualification process. And now with the SIF tool, we have included an automated compliance assessment process, and we are able at European and national level to disseminate information concerning European wastewater. As regards the process, there is, of course, at national level, there is a process in place, and in some cases, and not in all member states, there are already database available and map viewer available to have access to data, and we expect with the development of the SIF to have more countries that implement this type of data viewer at national level. So concerning European Wastewater Treatment Directive reporting, so we are under a new reporting, and the final submission was for all member states in June 2016, and we are under an assessment process concerning this information. So at EA level, so there is the reporting process in place in order to qualify the information with IONET and ReportNet, and we have qualification rules in place in order to help member states to improve the quality of their data set. But at this level also, the final result is the water-based, the wastewater base that is publicly available, and also a map viewer where you can have access to data information about each agglomeration and treatment plants. What we have added this year, so it's a new process, and of course for each process there is a possibility to have feedback and to member states, and we have added Commission process with the help of the International Office for Water. And this process is mainly focused on compliance and also on forward-looking aspects to have a better understanding of the situation. And in this process, what we will be able and we expect to have at the end of this year, what we expect to have is 28 national platforms at European level, the same platform that were presented by Benoît previously, and also an integrated European platform that gives access to all these platforms and also gives aggregated information at European level. So what is important also to know is that we expect also with these 28 national platforms to have implemented more or less Article 11 of the Inspire Directive, because in this platform there will be the download some of the services requested by Inspire Directive implemented. So it shows that we have tried to, and we have helped member states, and EA is also involved in this process, and we are helping member states to implement, of course, the European Wastewater Treatment Directive, but also in the same way, with the same tools, we are helping them to implement Inspire Directive as regards Inspire service, and partially data harmonization, because we have started to do this work, but we have to finalize this work. And also another directive, this has to do with Aarhus Convention, this is the Public Access to Environmental Information Directive. So the expected benefits of these developments, this is first an acceleration in reporting process and dissemination of knowledge. Secondly, an increase in transparency and use and reuse of information at national and European level. So the idea is to enlarge the use of this reporting information and not only for the Commission objectives. And the idea also, and it was presented previously, so it's with the possibility to cross different environmental layers to have a better understanding of remaining environmental and socio-economic issues. So the best example I have to show the importance of dissemination of data is what we have developed in France, because I was previously in France and I was also in charge of wastewater. And so what we have developed in France is a national website that disseminates wastewater information. So this website is not Inspire compliant, but it is used by lots of people. It is very useful. So it was implemented in 2010. And as you can see, so this is the number of visitors at the bottom of the slide. And you can see that now more than 500 users are using this website each day. And during the weekend, more than 100. So it means that also the general public is using the website. So we know that this website is very useful for lots of people, even if the data are not Inspire compliant. So this is important to show that there are many benefits of improving the dissemination of information at national, but also at European level, because there are lots of different uses of these informations. So as regards, of course, there are benefits and there are also remaining challenges, and there were also raised previously during the conference. So the main challenge is the problem of national process in some member states because of lack of human resource of IT people that are able to solve their problem and to qualify the information at national level. And we still have, even if we have a a good process, a good reporting in place, a good reporting process. We have still some problems with some countries because of the quality of data that are reporting at European level. The other challenge is how to improve the data model, because we know that in most of the member states there are IT systems in place, and we know also that it's difficult for them when we want to improve the data model, it's difficult for them to change their IT system because each time we want to improve, they have to change what they have developed. So it's also a big issue to solve if we want to improve the reporting process and the data model. There is also so I was on the ground during the projects, and I visited 6 member states. And most of the time, so there was no communication between the Inspire community and the policy community. And I think that this is also a challenge because there is a poor collaboration between both communities. And I think that we have to improve that if we want to improve the reporting process and to go to Inspire compliance. And of course, another issue is when you have established an IT system, so it's the same at national but also at European level, there is this issue to maintain the system and to update it at this level, so it's not so easy. So what else, what to do if we want to improve and to solve to give an answer to some of these challenges? First of all, this is important to say that IT system and Inspire rules are means. They are not final objective, they are means to improve our life, and what about this improvement? So there are means to simplify and ease the collection and reporting process. There are means to simplify and ease the access to data and knowledge. And there are also means to enlarge the use of data for policymakers, stakeholders, private companies, researchers, NGOs, citizens, and so on. So this is, for me, the role of Inspire. This is not a final objective. So what could be a possible future for Inspire data harmonization? Because we have to go into Inspire harmonization. What we know is that as regards at European level, the reporting process, we have in place policy expert groups, and we have in this expert group, we have worked together to establish reporting data model, to establish reporting guidance, to establish policy guidance. And on the other side, we have the Inspire committee that has established also guidance, Inspire guidance, with lots of different rules. And what happens today is that so the guidance under Inspire are compulsory to be implemented by member states, and in some member states, so it's not so easy to implement them. And if they are able to implement that, the problem we may have is that we may have, at the end of the process, what we may have is several different new data models Inspire compliant, but perhaps not compatible together. So this is the first issue. And I think that the best way to solve this problem is to work together, because we have expert groups. So if we are able in the future to include discussion with the IT community and with the Inspire committee directly inside our expert group, and to build together the documents, the guidance, the Inspire reporting guidance, the Inspire reporting data model and process. There is also the issue of the definition of some objects, of some terms that are used in our policies, and we work together to have a common understanding of these objects. I think that we will be able to improve the situation, and of course we don't have to forget that at EU level we have 24 national languages, and this is also a force to have that, because it's also a way to give a better access to the citizens, because all citizens are not speaking English, and we have to think also about the translation of all these documents, or of all these processes into the different languages. So this is a first proposal in order to improve the data process and to go into data harmonization together. So the second aspect is about the improvement of collection, reporting, and dissemination processes. So what we have developed is a dissemination tool. We have, under the Urban Wastewater Treatment Directive, an existing IT system at EA level, but also included in the SIF tool that is common at European level. But what is lacking, and this is the problem I raised before about the difficulty some member states to collect correctly their data, what is lacking is the collection tool. So what I propose in order to improve the situation is to converge more and more into an integrated member states European IT system that could be a mix of a Wikipedia, social network, data viewer, and policy website in order to give an answer to this issue. And so we can imagine to have to add to the project that we have developed, to add a collection tool that could be also organized at the level of each object. And for each object, we could imagine to have a web page that is there is one web page about each object at the world level, and to ask all people to work in this web page and to update this web page. So this is the idea in order to improve the system, and of course to have an integrated behind the collection and the dissemination tool. The idea is to have an integrated IT system with the qualification rules, and if we are able to do that, so it means also that when a person is going to fill the web page, perhaps they can be immediately an alert when there is a specific problem with the data that is entered into the website, and not to wait for a first step of reporting at national and then a second step of reporting at European level. So we can imagine to merge in the web page the content we have concerning our data model, but also other contents. We have Wikipedia, so for a specific object, and this is, for example, the treatment plant of Seine-Aval in Paris. So this is on the right, the content of the SIF website, so the detailed information of this treatment plant. And on the left, this is the content of Wikipedia. So we can imagine the future to have one page related to this object that is interconnected to the other object, but also to a dissemination website. So what are the main benefits of this type of development? Of course, the idea is to have a mutualization of cost, human resource, and IT developments. The possibility to have instantaneous update of the information related to each object. When you feed new information in the object, automatically when you push the button, you say, okay, it's disseminated immediately. The acceleration of reporting, European reporting result. So we can imagine to have the result of a specific reference year 6 months after the deadline, of the reference year. And so the idea also with this type of integrated IT system is to have an easier improvement of data models, easier addition of functionalities, easier interconnection of objects and related policies. And if we work together with the same IT system, so it's easier also to decide about the improvements. Of course, so we have developed a system related to European wastewater policy, but it is organized in a way to be reused in other policies. And also, what is important, because so there are the European member states, but there are also countries outside EU that have or not agreements with the European level, and could be also a system to propose to them in order to start collecting their information and gathering their knowledge about a specific policy. So it could be, this system can be reused by lots of countries, could be reused by lots of countries outside EU. we can also imagine, because so we speak about treatment plants, agglomeration, discharge points, but we can have the same policy with commercial products, and we can also use the same platform to give information about the location of where some of where the commercial products are sold, and so this could be reused by SMEs. And also, we can imagine, because it's also important for lots of stakeholders, is to have an easy access to best practice in order to implement better their policy. And so we have the Office International has also developed a specific website that is very efficient, but is not, of course, Inspire compliant. But we can imagine in the future to have Inspire related to also to best practices in order to share better these best practices. And of course, there are also the main challenge for that is to find or to be the organization to manage the whole system and to make people working together. And so that's the main challenge I see as regards this IT development. But this is not something new, because we have the same problem at national, at European level. So as a conclusion, of course, no decision has been taken about the evolution of IT system related to the European reporting, and specifically urban wastewater reporting. So the discussions are ongoing at different levels, and so this is, of course, a contribution to this discussion. Thank you for your attention. So if you have questions about this presentation or the overall station, so don't hesitate. Yes.
Where's the link to the WISE initiative? Because wastewater is for wastewater is for Water Framework Directive pressure. So what is with the connections to the other planned data platforms of the Commission?
So this is the way it is organized. So what we have included, and Benoît presented it, so we have included a pressure map viewer in the SIF tool. So we can imagine, because it has not been created, but we can imagine to create a specific layer related to the pressure to be reused in other systems. So so what happens now is that as it was presented here, because there is the EA level, and they reuse already this information. But in the future, we can enlarge this reuse by a better dissemination of this type of information. So all the systems are complementary. This is how it works now. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you very much, Bruno, for this presentation. What I miss a little bit is not a link, but the hint that this would be the way towards zero reporting if this could be implemented in a proper way.
Yeah, the idea of an integrated IT system is to suppress the process part. It could become transparent to the person in charge of the reporting. So it is an IT system behind. And when you validate an information, it's automatically processed by the system and then disseminate in the different tools. I don't know if it's related to that, but
I do not want to tease you, but what I sometimes miss if we discuss things on a European level is to show the links between the different activities.
Yeah.
We have a lot of different terms like smart reporting, like SIF, like size.
Yeah.
And sometimes people are really lost in terms because they do not know how these activities are related.
I agree. No, I agree. That's why we have developed a concrete tool. And there is, of course, this SIF behind, but this is a terminology. This is only that. This is not. So what is important is to show that there is a concrete development behind that, and we can name it SIF, Dream. I don't know what, but we can. The name of the concept is not the problem. So Yeah. That's what we communicated about the concrete developments. And of course, behind there is this term, but in the future, if we can suppress it, it's absolutely not a problem. It was created 3-4 years ago.
Just an additional point to that. You were mentioning zero reporting. I still have some doubts about that. Zero reporting is a dream, certainly. But formally, when you have a legal text, you have a reporting that is behind, that is mandatory, and at one point in time, you have to have a kind of timestamp to say, okay, I've made the reporting, I've made the official reporting, and I don't think the national authorities will prevent them from having this timestamp so that they have made the official reporting. It does not mean it's different. It's different from putting the information available to everyone. But at one point in time, every second year for the Urban Wastewater Treatment Directive, for the moment, it may change in the future. There are some different directions along that with the compliance agglomeration that maybe will be reported to a lower time interval, to a higher time interval in the future, or different lines are explored about that. But still, I don't think you will be able to prevent yourself from having a kind of a timestamp, even if it's only artificial, just putting on a button, I've reported. Yeah. Something like that.
And even if we propose a system that could be filled by everybody, and everybody is able to fill each object, there will be a need to say, so this is the final deadline, and then we will start the validation of the reference year, and we will see the result of this validation. And during this process, of course, we will see that perhaps there will be still problems. So I think that we are able to simplify the reporting process. I am not sure that we will be able to suppress any reporting process. But I think that there are possibilities to simplify highly the existing systems. So this is a proposal, and also we can imagine that for countries that have their own system, of course, the idea is not to say you have to stop it. The idea is to provide in the tool a way to follow the reporting with a specific format, and to be sure that it is at a certain level, it could be integrated in the system. But there are countries that have very lot of difficulties to develop their own system, and we are really to find a way to help them to do that, because we will never have a correct database in the end. Yeah.
Hello, Bruno. I have one feedback on the technology, and then regarding your last sentence, an idea as well. When working on WISE technical groups and the first ideas on SIF, it was clear from discussion with the EEA that the timestamp of the reporting envelope was linked to some technical limitation back in time, like sending fax so that you have legal proof that you've sent content. But technology has changed since like 20, 30 years. And I mean, it's kind of weird. It's not really clear to me whether it's really legally binding to have a timestamp or your data flow. I mean, I don't think it's a good idea to mix the reporting frequency, the fact that you have to be ready for a given date, and the IT system you deploy to meet that. I mean, we could set up open web services and just make clear that Commission will access them at a given date and does not have to have an impact on the IT design of that. That was my feedback on what Benoît was saying. And then the question to you regarding your last sentence, is there some kind of capacity building strategy around SIF when handing over the tool to member states, and to, instead of just dropping an open source solution, trying to give trainings or whatever, I don't know, into how to integrate this within the national system instead of after the report?
Yeah. What I see, but this is perhaps a dream, is that there are IT communities that are developing very efficient tools. When we speak about Firefox, we speak about Thunderbird. So there are tools that are developed by IT communities. We have OpenOffice, and so we can imagine to have the same type of development for our environmental IT system. But so I say perhaps it's a dream, but I think it's the way to mutualize the resource, the cost, and to work together for the same objective. So I think that it's time to close the session. So I would like to thank you for having attended it. So don't hesitate if you have other questions. So we will be present after the session to discuss with you. Thank you very much.